Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, I see them yopo.
How you too?
When you do that, but I can say it. When you do that, it would seem as though I mean, in the past there was politics. Now we are asking for the politicization should go.
But that's the truth.
But the truth of the matter is that if you look at the reason illegal mining still continues to fester, it's because everybody is involved. Yeah,
you've always known this when you're in opposition.
When I say everybody is involved, I mean to say specifically that there are journalists who are.
I am not involved. Are you involved?
Yes, there are journalists, a lot of journalists involved. Yes, there are journalists involved.
But how do they get involved? They act on the ground, or they don't report, or they cover it up, or what?
I'll give the details. So there are journalists involved.
Very important.
There are pastors involved.
Regional ministers.
There are imams involved.
Regional ministers are more important than the pastors and journalists you are mentioning. Regional ministers are involved. DCs are involved.
I mean, across both.
Journalists.
Everybody.
Journalists.
Everybody
you don't have evidence to suggest that regional ministers are involved.
Does he have evidence that journalists are involved?
Yes,
Because of course, you are a seasoned media practitioner.
Paul, please.
MCs are involved.
It is unacceptable for you to just throw outside allegations.
How can you say that when some judge said that Akufo-Addo was involved? Did he have evidence? How can you even say that? How can you ask me for evidence?
Away your many years of media
people have said president
as a senior journalist in this country on the web or allegations.
What is the allegation? What is the allegation?
Come on, don't do this.
You people have been in opposition and mentioned important government figures as being involved in Galamsey. The Ghanaian people followed you. The Ghanaian people.
What was your position?
The Ghanaian people's position is more important than mine. The Ghanaian people. No, the Ghanaian people agree with you. Voted for you. You said you can do it in 1 week. President comes and says, God is giving us money. God is giving us money. God is giving us money.
Paul, I'll come to the two of you.
So if I go low,
no, Hamza, it's okay.
Myself and you are senior. So if I go low, it's an invitation for you to go low.
It's okay. So you don't.
Absolutely
so
not.
don't accept it.
I hold enormous respect for you.
Hamza, it's okay. I'll come back to you.
Commentary of this nature.
Hamza, I'll come back.
Some of us
Hamza, he's
to ask serious questions.
Paul is quiet. Please be quiet. No, come on, don't join.
Why is it needless?
No, come on. I don't want to.
He mentioned journalists. And I will defend journalists. I will defend journalists as well. How can you tell me journalists are involved in Galamsey? Journalists. What power do journalists have? What power do journalists have?
Which citizens who are engaged in it, what power do they have?
Hamza,
please, let the citizens are empowered by politicians.
So journalists cannot be empowered.
So you should show us.
A journalist cannot be empowered.
No journalist by his training will do Galamsey. No journalist will do Galamsey. No journalist will do Galamsey. No journalist. Mention them. Mention them.
That you will not do it doesn't mean that other journalists will.
No journalist will do it.
Listen,
can we have fun?
Alleged to have been involved in Galamsey.
I don't want to take a break. I don't want to take a break.
Who is doing well in the
Hamza.
No journalists, name them.
Senior, you will know that.
Hamza, it's okay.
No journalists, name them. Paul, name them.
Paul, it's okay.
You have said journalists, name them.
Paul, I'll ask him to name them. You see, you mentioned imams, you mentioned pastors. Are there some that have been prosecuted? Can you mention specific instances of journalists?
Back to the point I was making. I'm saying that
you're saying everybody's involved.
Please hold on. The complicity is effectively widespread because ordinarily, normally we've been saying the narrative, the rhetoric has been that it's the politicians who are enabling the illegal mining and all of that. But I'm saying that now, based on information, verifiable ones for that matter, when you go into the cracks of the issue, you realize that almost everybody is complicit. And when I mentioned journalists, Paul is obviously offended. But here is the point. Look,
can you mention one journalist that you found?
There are times where maybe in some communities, NIMOS goes on an operation. Excavators are seized. The people who sit and then write petition come to the NIMOS offices to come and ask for the excavators to be released and those who have been arrested to be spared and all of that. Sometimes I'm saying that there are bishops, there are imams, there are journalists. It's everybody. It's a national thing. So when I say journalists are involved, it is not to, as it were, maybe mischaracterize the journalism profession. I'm also a journalist, but I'm saying that so everybody
on
is.
Behalf of them means that they are also complicit.
No, but point. Otherwise, why are you pleading on their behalf? If people have been arrested for doing wrong, why would you come in and then be making interventions?
So it's not as if journalists go and dig the pit, but you are saying there's complicity because either active or inactive.
Exactly, and even some of them actually Usually, of course, in some investigations, you realize it.
But you don't have names to mention, do you?
There are so many names to mention, but
can you mention
certainly not on this platform and not here.
Why not?
Because
are they not in prosecution?
No, for matters like this, you would want to investigate thoroughly. But the overarching point I'm making.
Did you find any ministers in all the complaints you've had? Any minister, either regional or any cabinet minister involved in Galamsey?
Well, think about it this way. Everybody at all levels is involved in one way or the other.
So the president is involved.
So think of
So
Galamsey.
the president is involved?
No, think of Galamsey across.
How could he stand up?
Think
Please,
No, he has said he will not mention. He has said he will not mention.
Not fair.
No, he said.
I'm a journalist. I walk down the road here in Tesano. They see me. Hey, that's one of the journalists.
No.
Catch him. Galamsey. The journalist is called Kofi Bedu. They say, oh, this is Paul Adom-Otchere. It's not Kofi Bedu.
Paul here is a journalist.
I'm a journalist too. So
Yeah,
he has explained.
No, you can't say journalist, which refers to a definite group of people.
But he has explained. He said that when they arrest people, some of the people come begging for their release.
Civil society has been talking about name and shame for the last 5 years.
I've asked this,
as part of our anti-corruption
he said
drive.
he will not
name and shame. No, that is wrong. He should then withdraw the journalist.
No,
if he can't name, he should withdraw it.
No, I'm not going to.
The other day, Akufo-Addo was speaking to chiefs. The chiefs were in the room in 2017 in his big Galamsey Deba, where following from that, he actually banned it in 2017, banned it, and he came back in 2018. Akufo-Addo told them in the room that Nananom, some of you are here. Some of you are, can I finish? Some of you are in Galamsey. He told them in the room. So you come to a platform like this and name identifiable groups, pastors, chiefs, journalists. Name one of them, you say, I can't name. That's really unfair. That's certainly unfair.
So Akufo-Addo mentioned the names of the chiefs in that.
That's a question to you.
No, Umaru, please, we need to know.
You hold on, I'll ask him. So
Okay,
Paul,
please.
when the president mentioned this in the big room, as you said, did he mention any of the chiefs there?
He took an action. His point was that
Did he
all
mention?
of you.
Did he mention?
He said all of you. He's the president, commander in chief, as they said. He said all of you, Nananom. I know some of you are involved.
He didn't mention.
It's still public. The record is still public. Then he said, as a result of that, I am going to ban it, and he did.
So he didn't mention.
He didn't mention.
Okay,
but these are chiefs.
Let's go back to Pakwe. So Pakwe,
I was okay with him banning it, taking the presidential action to ban it.
All right.
Pakwe has information that is within his knowledge. He's not the president. He's not the commander in chief. He has information within his knowledge. He comes on to.
This is very tangential.
Okay, so you are happy that journalists are named. Journalists are said to be doing Galamsey, but we won't name them. You are happy with it,
I am sad.
and you believe it that journalists are involved. Do you believe
It's
it?
a possibility.
Paul and Hamza.
It is a possibility. It is a possibility. You know that.
Umaru, I think we have veered off. The actual point I wanted to make, all right, or the real point I want to put across.
Because they said Akufo-Addo did not do the fight properly. Is that, or you are saying that there's a better way they could do it that they are not doing it?
Well, I have to apologize for interrupting his time. I apologize for that. I was just concerned that he was mentioning journalists, and it's always, I think that journalists are always punching bag in this country. Everything journalists. A journalist gets a government job, he can't do it. A lawyer gets a government job, he can't do it. The journalists are usually bastardized in Ghana, and I've taken it upon myself that we should scale above these things. So I apologize for that. You see, I am on the same page with Sam George. I agree with him. The Galamsey situation was moved from an anthropological, sociology problem to a political, legal problem. And truly, that is where the high hand of government can come in to stop it. I would like to say something very important, that during the campaign, the NDC promised Ghanaians certain reliefs. One was, for instance, the removal of e-levy. Another was the removal of betting tax. She intimated that these things, whilst they were obnoxious, were not killing anybody. The wonder then is, what about the thing that is really killing people? How come that the government cannot use its authority, granted it by the powers and the laws of the land, including the national constitution, to resolve it? We are finding out that Akufo-Addo, when he came in 2017, so Galamsey was almost part of the 2016 campaign. MPP communicators will tell you that it was Akufo-Addo who indicated to the communicators that this is Galamsey, this is not part of the politics. We have to deal with it. So if you look at the MPP campaign of 2016, Galamsey didn't come up. John Mahama was president then. Galamsey was increasing. It could have been a campaign issue. It wasn't used. As soon as March 2017, 3 months into being sworn in, the president recognized that this was a problem. And then he held the meeting. And then he went on to ban small-scale mining and ban in red zones so that we can look at it, put it together and put the Frimpong Boateng together, and then the things that happened. Whilst the things that happened, and it was becoming obvious that this Galamsey problem was a far more complicated problem than we are looking at it as a president doing this and that. Akufo-Addo was told towards the 2020 election that this Galamsey thing, we can deal with it and mine responsibly. So open it up because it is crippling business at the ground. People have stopped working, etc. So open it up. Government will have the necessary and the requisite skill or whatever to check it. So he opened it up. And then it was free for all. The campaign recognized that this is such a problem that government is the only one who can solve it. And so Akufo-Addo's conversation then that it's a national problem, let's all come together. It was poo-pooed and said that what all of us should come together to do what? You are the commander-in-chief. You have been given the power. The people's mandate is with you. The constitution gives you power to stop this thing. Why should all of us come together? It's your problem. It's not all of us our problem. You are the leader. And they were correct then. They are correct today. When the NDC administration took over and the question was put, would you put a state of emergency on Galamsey, as was the prescription that you gave? We are a democratic country. We are very lucky for that. Because when you're a democratic country, we always have a government in power and you have an alternative government. That's what democracy means. So the alternative government is able to have access to the information that the government has access to. In fact, in this particular situation, the alternative government was a former government, so they were better placed. And they prescribed the solution to Galamsey. Some judge, and I agree with him, said within 1 week, if the president were to announce a state of emergency tonight, 7 o'clock in a broadcast, state of emergency on all Galamsey areas, by Monday you go there, people will be leaving. They will leave their Shanfan, they will leave everything, they will be leaving. The military helicopters that have been purchased will be patrolling. Everybody will go. By August, the water will return. Stakeholders meeting can go on. If this is not the solution, we cannot have any other solution. And this was the prescription of the opposition. They are in government today. When the president
but it wasn't a formal decision of the opposition. I have spoken to the national chairman Johnson. I said,
I heard you.
He said it was not a party position. It was individual's position. So you cannot use that and impose it on the government now.
But that individual position is turning out to be the real solution. And Ghanaians bought into that. You see, it's easy for politicians to run away and say this was not a policy decision. And that's how politicians get away with everything. Because when they say something, you can't hold them to it. They say something. Recently, somebody came out on social media that we must find a way in which when politicians say something, we have to be able to hold them to it. It even becomes laughter. We are joking with the death of people. Look at what Musa Dankwa is publishing today. Oh, I'm going to check Pentecost people, how they vote, whether they will vote for Pentecost, Asedun Ketia versus Baumia, Pentecost people. We are joking with people's lives. Look at the Pediatrician Society of Ghana.
How is he joking? He's doing his work.
Oh, but that's Galamsey is a life and death matter. Is that how we joke with it?
Polling is his business.
Yes, but you can't. Yeah, but you can't publish polling. It's almost being insensitive.
No, but you believe
if your child has been punished for Galamsey with kidney disease, and you read something like
Musa Dankwa, you follow American politics.
Yes.
They do surveys on everything.
Oh, so America doesn't have things that are killing people.
No, they do polling on a number of things. They even do polling on.
Well, I think that is insensitive. If you think it's fine. I think it's very
I'm just
sensitive.
saying that I don't want it to be seen to be an attack on his work.
No, I'm not, but I'm thinking it's insensitive to
doing.
come and pull how Galamsey is. I think it's insensitive.
That's fine.
We're at a very critical situation.
No problem.
It's not about politics. It's not about MPP and D. It's not a joke anymore. It is people's children are dying. Once the pediatrician people issue that statement, we all must sit up. And this is not the first time it's coming. In the heat of the 2024 elections, Professor Ramford Jampo, and I agreed with him, was rallying TUC that they should go on a strike because of Galamsey. And eventually TUC didn't go on a strike. They were asking, how does it affect us, blah, 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 etc. And people were attacking TUC that, how does it affect you? Saying,
organized labor.
Organized labor, yes. Water is getting, the stability of the water is getting bad. And you say that it doesn't affect you. And we agree with that position. We agree with it today. The problem has festered. You can't say it's NDC's fault. Nor can you say it's MPP's fault. If you are NDC, you can say it's NPP's fault and you have a justification. If you are MPP, you can say it's NDC's fault and you have a justification. Where we are today is not about fault pointing. It's about resolving the problem. And we know that it is only the president of Ghana who has the power to stop this once and for all, and he must do it. Okay. He has told us that he's not willing to do it because it brings us money. Galamsey brings us money.
When did he say that?
Oh, when he held the, I'm inferring, when he held the press conference, the first press conference. Yes, I'm inferring. Let me tell you what he said. You will infer the same. That's the only way you can infer. He says that whilst the people who are doing illegal mining are doing something illegal, at least the money comes to us because Gold Board has a situation where they can buy all the gold. That's what he said. Now, how do you infer this? The question he was answering was, would you put a state of emergency on Galamsey areas? This was his answer. What inference should I give? That is the inference that you have to give. Okay. So the president is unwilling to bail the cat and then do the state of emergency because it may affect us economically. Now, should we be drinking bad water and some of us die and some of us become rich? Some die, some become rich. Some die, some become rich. Is that the situation?
So president should take the bull by the horn.
The president should do the prescription, which is a state of emergency. He's able to do it. He has the power to. If he doesn't do it, we'll be having these conversations around these tables forever and ever. Because as he says, Galamsey today is money, and we're a poor country. We all need money. Soldiers need money. Policemen need money. NIMOS need money. Everybody needs money.
So the only way to end it is the state of emergency.
That's what Sam George said then. It is also true today. The only way to end it with the situation that we have is to declare a state of everybody clear out of the place. Let's come and have an assessment of what has happened. Then president can form a committee. He can let Hamza chair it because I see he's a good man. He's an honest man. He has a good heart. Hamza should chair it. Let's put together, you can even have a bipartisan committee, whatever. But at this stage, with what is happening, where MMDCs are being fingered by radio stations and they are still there, where they are charging for some fun and they are still there. It's been 2 months. They've not been removed. So the political will is not there. We have to force that political will and then we'll be fine.
Hamza, your party is in power. The political will is not there. That's what Adom-Otchere is saying.
Umaru, I think first of all, it is important for me to
You have 5 minutes, so I've timed you just so that you don't accuse me.
So you can 5 minutes.
No, I'm the one who is doing the timing. So you look at your phone.
Umaru, please, I beg you. The 5 minutes will be unfair. Please.
You haven't even started.
I know, but
you look at your time. You look at the time before you start, so that
proceed. Senior spoke for more than 5 minutes. He spoke for more than 5 minutes. She spoke for more than 5 minutes. Yes, very sure.
Give me my important so it is a greater part.
Yes, of course, and they interjected.
What is your senior? Stop.
Sorry, no seniority here. Sorry.
Umaru, I think first of all, it is important for me to commend the likes of Aula, our senior sister, who undoubtedly has shown some level of consistency as far as this fight is concerned.
Thank you.
And because clearly she is doing it because of the national interest. She is not wearing any partisan color. She is concerned about the environment and for the safety of many of us who go about our daily activities. And so that effort, I think that we must commend it. And many more of us must emulate that gesture. Same with the Pentecost Church of Ghana. I did not start following them today in terms of the Galamsey fight. Indeed, I remember somewhere 2022, they actually launched a campaign on social media, on their official page, where they were leading the discourse on issues of Galamsey.
Pentecost?
Yes. If you check, you see it. So I think just a minute. This is important.
Are you looking for the chairman's 2022 talk?
No. They are 2022 page. There's a social media.
There was
a video. And even it's really important. In 2022, it was not just about speaking about the effects of Galamsey. He was actually visiting Galamsey pits when Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo was president.
With other clergymen.
And so he's been fairly consistent. That's like my big sister here on the subject matter. And that is the reason why I was alarmed when I first heard the response of the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Free Zones Authority. A response that I thought that did not reflect the composure of our president and, of course, the minister responsible for lands and natural resources when it comes to our holistic strategy in our bid to confront the Galamsey menace. And so many of us were worried and concerned because this clearly, or the response did not reflect the posture of this government. And I am glad that she came to apologize, especially even when the heat on social media was started by not just the NPP, but the NDC activists who thought that this was improper, this was unacceptable, And as far as our collective desire to defend or protect the environment of this country is concerned, we must go beyond branding people as politicians simply because they are raising their concerns. Now to the subject matter. As to whether or not this government has done well, is not a decision to be reached by the government. And I know my brother agrees with me. This is because the best we can do is to fight it in a way we know better. And one of the ways of fighting Galamsey is making the process transparent. And since the assumption of office by this president and that of the minister responsible for environment, lands and natural resources, Minister for Lands and Natural Resources for that, rather, I think that they have demonstrated that measure of transparency in terms of what they are doing in the sector, in terms of the interventions that government has rolled out, even the establishment of NIMOs and how we all are mandated to police their activities. As if that was not enough, when concerns emerged that indeed we are not seeing what was going on, the president convened an engagement with all civil society organizations at the presidency. Something that was never done in the last 8 years of the last regime. We never experienced that. Where even amongst the civil society organizations, there were disagreements as to the posture or strategy government should adopt. I remember even the president of the Ghana Journalists Association got up and indicated that he could now make sense out of the reasons why government is quite adamant to declare a state of emergency. And so it even became a point of contention amongst the civil society organizations. Some were of the view that a state of emergency be declared, others were of the view that no, this is not the right time. So, but there was that appreciation in terms of government posture. It was at that forum that government got the water agencies to present a picture of the turbidity levels of our water bodies and also efforts at cleaning them. That level of transparency was never witnessed. And so we cannot simply gloss over that. Again, it is legitimate for people to still be concerned when they see water bodies of this nature. And for me, when I listened to Reverend Nyamiche, I found nothing wrong with the caution he threw. His references to extensive damage of our water bodies was not suggestive of the fact that the extensive damage happened now or is happening now. We've all known that the havoc of Galamsey is extensive in nature. We still see the effects. We live it on a daily basis. And so it was not done to portray the government as not being committed to the fight. It was a general statement that any of us...
So you think it was complimentary rather than attacking?
No, I'm not saying it was complimentary. If he said that it was extensive in nature, the damage was extensive. Legitimate. Because the extensive nature of the damage, he did not suggest that it happened under the term of this government. Absolutely not. Go and read the statement he issued. And on a lighter note, you see, in as much as I appreciate the pollution it is causing to water bodies and the impact on baptism and related activities as far as the religious fraternity is concerned, I think that in line with modernity, we must also begin to move away from such practices. With or without Galamsey, some of these water bodies has its own health implications because not all water bodies are treated. Even for the sake...
Even without Galamsey.
Yes, even without Galamsey. So even for the sake of the livelihoods of our own people and those who look up to us as pastors, I think that we must find ways of modernizing the way we baptize. And there's absolutely nothing wrong if you do so in synthetic taps, provided that it guarantees the health and safety of your congregants.
That's why I had mine, by the way.
So I think that we have to appreciate that. You see, but as for the concerns raised by my brother and my senior Paul, Umaru, legitimate. I disagree with those who say that we should take politics out of the discourse when it comes to illegal mining. We can't take it out. We can't, and we must not attempt to take it out. Because that is the only way we will ensure accountability. If the NDC said A, B, C, and D when we're in opposition, I have no problem with the civil society organizations, clergymen, and citizens of this country holding us strictly to the promises we made. The responsibility is on us to demonstrate how our commitment is different. And it is different. Look, in the past, we had appointees of government who by their actions and public declarations, indicated that they were unwilling to cooperate with the executive arm's decision to even fight illegal mining. Amenfi East, a parliamentary candidate who was attached to the Chief of Staff's office, he was on record to have called on his people to even attack the military men who were there to ensure that illegal mining was halted under an MPP regime. This happened. The former Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, in the heat of the elections, Deputy Minister in the Western region, also told the Galamsey that, oh, they should go and do. And Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was seated. Ashanti Regional Chairman, who is before our courts today, was indicted by the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources to have engaged in illegal mining activities. It took President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, my senior wants us to see as a champion in the fight against illegal mining, to clear him publicly against official correspondence from his own Minister of Lands and Natural Resources. So if you had this level of state complicity at the time, how did you expect to win any sincere fight against illegal mining? Okay. Is that the situation today? Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Absolutely.
No appointee of President Mahama can attempt what we witnessed under NPP and go scot-free.
Very well. Thank you,
because
Hamza.
even the media is instrumental in this fight, and the president is not ready to jeopardize his last and enduring legacy that he's been given an opportunity to build simply because he wants to shield an operative or an appointee of the state. Absolutely not. So that distinction needs to be made.
Very well.
And lastly, on the issue of journalists being involved in the...
Your big brother is a journalist.
Yes, my big brother is one. And you see, that's why I asked Senior that, look, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo made allegations that some chiefs were involved. We did not demand for names of the chiefs that were involved.
Let's correct this. He did not say some journalists. He didn't use that. He just said journalists were involved.
It's the same thing. If you say if I say journalists engage in corruption,
anyway,
it just means some journalists. I don't think it means some journalists.
I'm resisting the temptation today.
No, conclude for me.
You see, we can pretend, and that kind of pretense is what is making the fight murkier. We all know that when we talk about journalists, it's not just about journalists in Accra. All the regions have journalists. And unless, of course, you are not familiar with the political economy and social setup in the Western region, there are actually journalists who host programs, who in the Western region and in the Eastern region, who themselves have mining pits.
You know some that you mentioned.
There are journalists. There are journalists in this country who have taken licenses to mine and end up mining in areas where they are not legally entrusted with their mining license to mine. They are engaged in Galamsey. And if we say that evidence suggests that there are some journalists who are engaged in Galamsey, it is not a negative brush for all journalists.
Absolutely not.
Just like the president alleged that there were some chiefs who were engaged. We can all sit around this table and pretend.
Okay.
You see, chiefs own land. Journalists don't own land.
Oh, but you don't have to own land to mine, Senior.
Yes, but I'm saying that the one who owns the land is easier for you to allege that he is mining than the one who is a reporter. He came to buy the land, took the picture. But let's name them. Let's report to the GJ. I don't know members of the GJ.
When we mention Galamseyers in Western and Eastern region, they are not chiefs. The people who do Galamsey.
You don't seem to get my point about alleging that journalists are in Galamsey and alleging that chiefs are in Galamsey. It's easier to allege that chiefs are in Galamsey because the object of Galamsey is land. Chiefs own land by Ghanaian law. Chiefs own land.
I don't have to own land to do Galamsey.
You see, it's an analysis I'm doing. Yes, you don't have to own land. But if you are alleging that a group of people, all of whom own land, are part of land degradation, it's nearer the truth than a news reporter.
But what if you flip the coin and say the owners, that the owners rather protect their land and that the non-owners rather degrade the land?
If the non-owners degrade the land, the owner is there to stop them.
On a lighter note, to end on this note, I also disagree with you.
Okay, fair enough.
When you say that we have transitioned, the Galamsey problem is not a socio-economic problem, it has transitioned to a political-legal problem.
I'm not saying that. I said the solution is political-legal.
No. No.
The solution is also sociological.
It is still both.
Well, because it's attractive, it earns money. it will be difficult to resolve it
So that is
sociologically.
why we have
Law can resolve it.
empowerment program.
She agrees with me. I will agree with you.
that
So you
one-
are in
that
the
one.
minority. It's the law that can stop it.
I'm not saying that the law cannot stop it.
But if the law can stop it,
It
but the
is not
sociology
the
cannot
law
stop it.
alone that will stop it. I am telling you
The law
that's why.
is the law is the strongest.
Exactly.
The law first.
No, but he made an
The law-
allegation. He made an assertion.
No, Hamza,
that
the law
there's
first.
a transition from socio-economic. The focus
I
should
didn't
move
say
from
that,
socio-economic
I said that the
to what?
solution, the
Political.
solution, the
And I am
solution.
telling you that, please. Yes, even the solution.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you that that is not accurate. It is not for nothing. That even if you look at your UN resolutions, livelihood empowerment programs are embedded when it comes to ending illegal mining.
But the law first.
social and economic.
The law
Yes,
first.
so you
The ban
cannot
first.
simply be seen.
No, I think
The
we
ban
are
first.
doing
I think the ban
So
first.
there's no transition. Indeed, they work together.
Thank you,
That's the
Hamza.
point I'm making.
Thank you, Hamza. Let me go
There's no
to.
transition. It has not
But the
moved.
law first. The government first.
I'll come to Kamaldeen, but I want to
Government must
hear.
lead.
I want to
I
hear from
agree.
Dr. Osai.
So government first.
I agree.
Paul
But
President
government
first.
leading also means
Paul
introducing
and
livelihood empowerment
Paul
programs as
and
an
Hamza.
alternative.
Hamza.
That is true.
Hamza
But
and
the
Paul.
law first to stop them
But the
from
two of
doing
you
them.
can- the two
Because
of
the
you-
government has inherited the problem. You see,
Paul.
the problem was there before the government came. The government has inherited. The government didn't create it.
Paul.
The government has inherited it, but the government can't solve it.
Very
And
well.
that's the promise made to the
The
Ghanaian people.
government is
For which
committed to
reason?
solving it, and this government
It doesn't
will solve
look
it.
like
Unlike
that.
Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, where we saw,
That's why he was voted out. That's why he was voted out. That's why he was voted
That is what we are
out.
solving.
You are not.
We are.
She's
Let me-
shaking her head.
let me-
She's shaking her head. As you
Paul.
talk, she's shaking her head. When you said you are solving, do you see how she shook her
No, we
head?
are solving. She may not be
Please, she's
excited.
shaking her head. But we have you are not solving.
No problem. No.
I don't even expect her to be
I agree that you have 4 years. I agree that you have 4 years
So
to solve
let us send
it.
it.
So let's see what happens.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you
It's not
for
coming.
Thank you,
It's not
Hamza.
coming.
Thank you. Let me.
Commitment has been
Hamza,
is there.
Hamza, thank you.
Allegations they made against His Excellency President Mahama.
Which business allegation?
And I think they alleged that His Excellency had indicated that because we are getting money from illegal mining. It is.
I would not finish with that topic.
No, we are not.
Okay.
So I said we are going to come back
Okay.
to all of
Right,
that.
right of
Because
rejoinder.
you gave me some rights of response.
No.
Yes.
If you want to, if there's something that was said, I want to respond to you. Can 1 minute?
Yes, because you see, Umaru, that was clearly inaccurate and intended to achieve a certain political mischief.
Who said it, Paul?
Paul indicated that, His Excellency President Mahama has said A, B, and C. I think that the press engagement was contextual. And when he was asked about the possible influence Goldboard could have on the Galamsey fight, he indicated that if for nothing at all, we should not just be focusing on what we think to be the influencing factors of Galamsey with the establishment of the board, but rather focus on the good side of that intervention. And he indicated that, look, we are fighting Galamsey. We are not yet done with the fight against Galamsey. It is a process. Yet still, the only advantage we should not forget, as far as the old system was concerned, is the fact that today, even the gold that is coming from illegal mining is not being lost to the state, especially when we have to bear the health implications of that. It is not being lost into the state. To the state. In the past, it was lost to the state. Now, Goldboard has also announced that this year they will start their traceability to know which one is coming from illegal sources and those that are not coming from illegal sources. But by current law, they are not even buying from illegal miners. And that point needs to be made. And that context is critical. It was not as if to say that, Goldboard is buying gold from illegal miners. And so because we are buying it from illegal miners, they should be allowed to go ahead with it. Absolutely not.
Thank you.
PENDREAM TV now, so far so good. Say open online portal e Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.